Okay, so I was all ready to do the first lesson on astrology when that subconscious intuitive side of me said, no, you need to do this. And I'm like, really? Okay then. And I know it was the intuitive side of me because it gave me two words, rose cross. And that's something I haven't done in well over a year, if not more, for very good reason. The rose cross ritual was the furthest thing from my conscious mind. So, before we get into astrology, which we will, we're going to go over a few other things that you can do to protect yourself against people wishing to do you harm through psychic attack, entities, or just bad vibes in general. Now, the first method, I don't know what it's actually called, but I call it putting your shields up, or return to sender. So when you feel that you're under some kind of bad vibe or something, you put your shields up. So you want to get into a relaxed state, which, by the way, as a side note, if you're having trouble getting into a relaxed state, you need to work on your breathing rhythm. There's an exercise called the fourfold breath, which goes as such. You breathe in for 4, you hold it for 4, you breathe out for 4, you hold that for 4, you breathe in for 4, etc. If you can't hold it for 4, hold it for 2, because the rhythm is more important than the count. You need to get into a rhythm. If you're not breathing in a rhythmic way, then the odds are you're not relaxed enough. And at first you're concentrated on the count, but eventually that count will fade away while you slip into that rhythmic pace required for the theta brainwave state of trance. And this is for all your relaxation exercises at the beginning, and why all the spiritual gurus have you focus on rhythmic breathing. So you get relaxed. And then you want to imagine your aura around you, okay? And visualize your aura. Hopefully you all know what the aura is. The bioelectromagnetic field around your body. If you don't know, then Google will be your friend at this point, because I'm not going to get into all of the aura stuff just yet. Only to say that you imagine it, you visualize it as clearly as you can, and you imagine that the outer part of that aura is turning very, very solid, very, very hard, and very, very reflective, and looks like a mirror, so that anybody looking at you will see themselves, and anything coming at you will bounce off of it and be returned to sender. And you repeat those words over in your mind over and over while you're visualizing return to sender. Return to sender. Return to sender. Return to sender. You don't have to say it out loud. You can just repeat it over and over in your mind. Now, the important thing here is it's not just a one-off. You just don't do this for 5-10 minutes and you're done. You're going to have to keep that shield up the entire time the attack or the bad vibes coming at you are taking place. You may have to do this for several hours. The good news is it's one of the easier visualizations to maintain. As long as you can keep the idea that you are in a bubble, a big metallic reflective bubble, the shape of an egg or, whatever, you're doing okay. It doesn't have to be a mirror. You can make it a big, rubber or something. I'm rubber, you're glue. Everything bounces off of me and sticks to you. That might actually be better for the subconscious, that old childhood rhyme saying there. And if you're decent at relaxing, you can go do other things. I mean, you don't just have to just sit there, in the same spot. I've been able to, move around as long as I'm keeping that visualization in my mind. And I've been able to, sit there and watch some TV, which I don't watch a lot of, and just have that feeling of things bouncing off my shield. And I'd do that for several hours. Now, I've had success with this. Both of these methods that I'm teaching you now, I've had success with. I remember one evening I felt something odd, bad vibes. Something wasn't right. So I put the shields up and I held it for several hours, most of the night. And it was about a day or so later that I was talking with a friend of mine who proceeded to tell me about another mutual friend of ours who was talking shit about several people, myself included. A couple days after that, that particular individual lost his job of 20 years. Coincidence? All magic is going to seem like a coincidence. This isn't baneful magic. These people are doing it to themselves. They're being hit with their own force they've put out. As long as your intent isn't malicious. If you know who's attacking you, there's no need to get upset or angry or any of that. In fact, the happier you can be while you're maintaining this, the more defended you are. Simply by polarity. You need no other thought than return to sender. That's all you need. And it seems to work rather well against gossipers, rumor spreaders, and shit talkers. Okay, so the other method we want to discuss is the Rose Cross ritual. I'm not going to discuss how to do the Rose Cross ritual. You can easily find it online, and I will post a link in the description to a page where you can find the exact method. The Rose Cross works with the aura as well. However, instead of hardening it into a defensive structure, it's shrouding it and concealing it. This is the infamous invisibility ritual, because those wishing to do you harm will not only have a difficult time finding you, but may even lose interest altogether. Now, it's said that when you do the Kabbalistic cross and the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, that you light up the astral plane. Yes, you banish things and keep things at bay, but everything knows where you are. And after the last dream that I had told you about in the previous re-upload of Banishing Entities, that little forward I put about my dream about me doing the Kabbalistic cross, and it lit everything up, that certainly seems to be the case. The Rose Cross does the opposite. The Rose Cross will hide you on the astral. Now, the warning that comes with the Rose Cross is that it just doesn't hide you from those wishing to do you harm. You do not want to do this unless you like being ignored. Family, friends, everyone. It's not that people can't see you physically. They can still see you physically, but your aura is shrouded, and if you're just going about your business, your daily business, you will be ignored. You have to be careful crossing the street after doing this ritual, because drivers may not see you. So use with caution, because in my experience, it seems to last longer than I really wanted it to. I was even being ignored on Facebook and social media. So now you know why I haven't resorted to using it since I've started doing these videos. I actually want people to watch them. No sense in doing a video series if I'm performing the Rose Cross. But somebody out there needs this, because otherwise I wouldn't have been directed into talking about it. I just need to make sure that you understand what you're in for. This is an extremely powerful ritual, and unless you're jumping up and down, waving your arms around, and shouting at the top of your lungs in order to get someone's attention, it's going to be a very lonely and quiet experience for you. I personally have only felt the need to perform it 2 or 3 times myself, and each time seemed to last for a couple weeks. So keep that in mind also. So you now have a couple more methods that you can protect yourself with. The link to the Rose Cross will be in the description, and I will hopefully see you soon. Take care.